If we don't get him, then the original plan stays in place. Nothing changes. We can be content. We weren't planning on getting him anyway. It doesn't matter. But if we do get him, then we have Shohei Ohtani. And then we can alter anything else around that because we have Shohei. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to lowball him. I mean, if you can call over $30 million a year a lowball, but it is, I guess, in this case. 27% interest, so about a 1 in 4 chance of him actually coming to us. Let's see. Oh, let's see. I don't even know what I want to see here. I don't know if I want to see our logo or not. I still haven't decided, but it's too late. It's too late to go back. He's on our team! You have to be kidding me. Oh my god. There's no way that just happened. Why did that happen? Didn't that happen last year with Taylor Rogers? Isn't that how I got Taylor Rogers? He had like a super low chance of actually signing with us, but then he did. Am I just lucky? Or is this rigged in some way? Can you believe that, man? Shohei Ohtani on the White Sox. Remember when those rumors came out that the White Sox inquired about a trade for Ohtani? And like nobody took it seriously. None of us White Sox fans were like, oh, we missed out. But there was still that thought there of like, what if? What if a move was pulled off? And now we get to see Shohei Ohtani in a White Sox uniform. What is going to happen now? How am I going to build the team around this? This throws so much out of whack, but I think it's worth it. This is unreal. Okay, I guess we just continue moving forward. All right, nothing else happened throughout the week, so Shohei might have literally been the only guy who signed. Giolito has even less of an interest. I think Shohei's initial interest was 39%, so Giolito has even less. Maybe that was altered by us signing Shohei. Oh man, but now we have a third of our budget taken up. Like I said, that throws so much out of whack. I mean, I guess I wasn't, well, I didn't offer Shohei anything more than I guess I would have paid Giolito. But on the other hand, I was also not expecting Giolito to be asking for that much in the first place. So I don't know. I hope this doesn't throw next season's off-season plans too out of whack also with needing to bring back Moncada. Well, Eloy doesn't have that little contract signed next to him, so maybe I don't have to worry about him. So I didn't even notice this. This doesn't really change anything, but if you look up in the top right at the two-way player status thing, it looks to me, the more I look at it, that you can't have the pitcher hit as an American League team. So in games that Shohei starts, he won't be hitting, which is not a big deal. I just saw the 162 here, but then I guess matching up the at-bats, the plate appearance numbers, that kind of, you know, if you subtract 33 games that he would have been pitching and not hitting, those numbers kind of make sense. Oh boy. I cannot believe that just happened. Well, all right. I guess that means that's it for Giolito on the White Sox. I was so not expecting to be saying those words when I started this offseason, but here we are. I'm taking Giolito off the board. He has a much lower interest than I would have thought. I mean, we could keep him in that top spot, build his interest all the way to 100% by the end of it. And if we do, then maybe we could sign him for less, but how much less? I mean, I doubt it would even get to the point where we could offer him down to like 25 mil. I don't even know if that's possible, but even if we did, that might not fit in with the budget. We always could too. We always could just not bring Hendricks back, which would have been the original plan at the beginning of last season. I wasn't planning on bringing Liam back because, I mean, he's 35. You know he's going to start regressing, even though he didn't in his age 34 year. But he was so good that he changed my mind. That's why I'm wanting to bring him back, but I don't need to. Because if we look at our depth chart when it comes to relievers, I mean, we have Crochet, who could close. We have Rogers, Bummer, Lasagna. But then Graveman, all those guys are over 80 overall. They all had good seasons last year. So, you know, Crochet, he could become the closer, and he could probably handle it. And then we still have plenty of bullpen around him. All right, so just looking to some of our other potential options for now that still vacant fifth starter spot. I mean, DeGrom, at this point, he's only asking 2 years, 20-ish mil a year, especially if I don't bring back Hendricks now. That would work within the budget. I just don't know if that'd be the best move. I mean, he's coming off a Cy Young year, but he's regressing fast. He's tumbling down the hill pretty quick in terms of his attributes. So if he has another year like that, he'll probably be down to like an 82, maybe even 81 by the end of this year. Then by the end of his contract, he'll be a mid-70s guy. I don't know if I want to do that. Frankie Montas isn't asking a lot, but he'd be on our team until he's 36. So you also don't know how regression is going to go for him. He didn't progress anymore. So 84 is his ceiling. He's had a couple of decent years. Not anything ridiculous, but you know, pretty good. So he could be an option. Tyler Mahle, kind of the same with his stats, nothing too impressive, but nothing terrible. He didn't really progress either. He is a couple years younger though, but he's also asking for a couple million more. Lance Lynn's still there, but he's kind of the same deal as DeGrom, but even a lower overall and older. Snell is not asking for much at all, but he's been a little shaky. Couple of years in a row with losing records and over a 4 ERA, and the stamina is not too great. I'm really conscious about that stamina rating now. German Marquez not asking a lot at all, 29. He did progress. He had a bit of a down year from the year before, so he could bounce back. Gave up a lot of homers, but he did pitch in Coors. It's just he's been pitching in Coors his whole career and never even came close to that number of homers. But that's not a horrible move. That actually, I mean, him having a bad year last year, now that I think about it, that could work in our favor. Because potentially the only reason he gave up those homers was because of Coors. I mean, you can't, there's no way to really know that. But that might be what's making him ask for a lot less money. I mean, hardly 11 million a year, and he progressed. He could progress for another year. He's not 30 yet. He's already an 86, not bad, good stamina. 5 pitches, doesn't walk a ton of hitters. That's definitely one to keep in mind. That actually could also be a better signing than Kershaw, who I talked about before. He's only asking for 2 years, $1 million more per year than Marquez. But Kershaw, you know, we still have to deal with regression. If we sign him for 2 years, by the time his contract's up, he'll probably be in the 70s. So we might only even get 1 good year out of him. And then everyone else pretty much has the same downside we've talked about, with less of an upside. It's just then, you know, they're cheaper. But we do still have the money. We still have $68 million. So we don't have to skimp on a starting pitcher signing. I'm really thinking about this Marquez move here, especially if we spend this instead of, you know, something like this for DeGrom. Then we could still bring back Liam Hendricks. There's also Kyle Hendricks, who actually has had 2 really good years in the March to October universe, but, you know, 34, he could regress any second now. This Marquez, man, I can't not look into this. I have to look into it a little bit at least. So if we were to sign both Hendricks and Marquez to their asking prices per year, that would be another 33 mil, which would only be another third of what our offseason budget would be. So I could probably bring both of them in. And then all that leaves left for us to need to sign would be that free agent outfielder and free agent infielder that are 75 overall or higher. And we don't have to spend much on them. Let's look into that. So to bring Angle back, I mean, he wants 5 years. I don't know if I do that, but he only wants 3.7 mil a year. Even like a Hunter Renfroe or a Duvall or Haniger or Kepler, these guys are not asking for much. I guess that's all the free agents. Does it does not show free agents that aren't in the top 100? I didn't realize that the first time around. I would kind of like to see people that aren't necessarily top 100 free agent signings. I don't know. I'm looking at some of these like Hunter Renfroe, and it's like he doesn't want anything over 6 mil a year, but I don't need to go overboard here. Adam Engel would be fine. Man, Bellinger's a free agent and he's putting up numbers again. Look at these 2 years. Back-to-back 302 averages with 30-plus homer years. Those attributes are shooting back up. You'd probably have a couple more years of getting better. I mean, I'm not going to sign him. He's going for a ton. It's just, that's interesting. And I think, oh no, he's not here. I remember Juan Soto. It looked like he was going to be a free agent, but they must have signed him back already, I guess. Honestly, Adam Engel might be the best option we can bring in. Because if you look at guys that you can make sure have good fielding and speed, you got Kiermaier, who he doesn't hit, but he fields really well, has good speed. You got Michael Taylor, same thing. I mean, the speed, I guess, isn't quite there, but it's not horrible. But both of them are asking for a couple million more than Engel is. And Engel has the same skill set. I mean, you could spend a couple more $1 million and get a Hunter Renfroe. I don't know if that's worth it. I mean, they're the same age. Renfroe's like 10 overall points higher. He's got a ton of power, but like I said, that'd be going kind of overboard, and I don't know if that's necessary, because like when would he even play? The only time he would play is when our outfielders are tired. I don't see it being, even though it's only like $2 million, I just don't see it being worth it. So Engel honestly is probably the best option we can bring back to be that 75 overall or higher bench player. What about the infielders? Who can we bring in to be that backup infielder? This is an option. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Rangers March to October legend. Not asking for a ton. Still relatively young. He got a lot better. Good fielder. That catcher secondary is interesting. If fielding becomes an issue at catcher, because neither Zach Collins or Yermin are good fielders at all, then he could do it. We're gonna have to keep that one in mind. That is not bad at all. Urshela could also be an option. His contact went down a lot, but I think that's just because he had a down year contact wise. But I'm actually surprised they have him this low rated of a fielder. I thought that was kind of his thing. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any better options for the infield. It might be Kiner-Falefa that we're gonna look for. All right, so if we think about that, if we think about the salaries here, 33 mil for these two combined, that would bring us down to right around 35 mil remaining. But then both Engel and Kiner-Falefa barely cost anything. Engel, that if 3.7 is what we get him for, that would bring us down to 31.25 mil. And then Kiner-Falefa, he's only wanting 4.8. That would bring us down to 26.45. So we'd still have $26.5 million left over in our budget. We'd have all of our spots full. That might be the move. I think we can do it. I think we can comfortably bring back Hendricks. We can bring in German Marquez, and then we can knock out both of these good, solid bench players for cheap. The only thing left I'm curious about, just because I mentioned it, Grandal, that's not going to happen. We're not paying him $30 million a year just to regress. I figured he wouldn't be asking for, 10 mil. That's kind of the number I had in my head, that if we could get him for 10 mil for the next year, but it's not even close to that, so it's not even a thought. All right, well, the question is, who do I add in first to the priority list, or do I add anybody? Should I just build up the interest of these two guys? What does happen? What if I add in a third guy? That would knock Hendricks' percent down 2, Herman's down 1, and then only add 2% for the new guy. I mean, I could change around these things. I wonder, we don't really need relief pitcher checked because it's only starter and closer. So if I put it to right fielder, bumps Engel up to 3. If I change any of the team needs, though, that would take away from the other guys. I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna have Engel here to start just to see his interest. Actually, I'm gonna do Kiner-Falefa first. I'm more curious to see what his interest is. All right, so we'll advance week with Hendricks as the top priority, Marquez 2, Kiner-Falefa 3. We'll see the interest of these two guys. Hopefully it's solid, and hopefully we don't have a last chance thing again, because I want some time here to see if we can get these guys. Hader goes to the Cubs in division. That's a villain move right there. No. Oh no. Okay. Wow, Liam. No loyalty. All right. Well, we got to at least see what the deal is, and this is interesting. I wouldn't have known this up until this point. Liam Hendricks didn't gain interest from him being our #1 priority. I really would have thought him being #1 priority and then a last chance popping up, I would have expected him to gain that 7% interest. At least we had the plan, just in case when the thought popped up of not bringing Hendricks back. We would be fine if we don't get him. So I don't really want to offer him. I don't want to bump up the years. Even 2 years, that's that second year. You never know how low he can get. We can, so it starts at 22 mil. we can bump that all the way up to 24. So it's 22 even up to 24.2. So that's an extra 2.2 mil. Even with what we accounted for earlier, we still had 26 million left over. We could just take another 2 million away from that and still have 24 million left over. So I might do this. I might try and lock this up, spend a ton of money on Liam Hendriks. I mean, we see his value here. 40 saves. He did blow 6 saves, but he didn't lose a game. Only 10 runs allowed on the year. He never walks anybody. He strikes out everybody. You really can't ask for much better of a closer. And when I use him, he is so dominant. So yeah, I'm going to max out the money. The max we could get him for years is just another 4% or 6%. So we'll just stay at the 2 years. We'll have a 2/3 chance of bringing him back. And if we don't get him, then whatever. We'll move on. It's not the end of the world. So let's see. Do we get him back or did we use up all of our luck on Ohtani? We have Shohei Ohtani. Has that set in for anybody? All right, we got him. We got him. That wasn't a guarantee. It was probable, but not likely. I don't know. Isn't that what you learned? 75% or higher is likely. 50 to 75 is probable. Does anybody care about my stats class knowledge? Nobody does. Why am I talking about that? Liam Hendriks is back. What do we got coming next? Nobody's signing throughout the week, and we are on to the next week. Marquez is up over 50% interested. Kiner Falefa 47. Marquez, we can see the offer here. I mean, that's only 1 mil to bump it up, and that would give us 65% interest. So, and we must have to get him to a certain interest level because we do have that guaranteed accept thing, right? That was once per off season. We could use that. You must have to get him to like 55 or maybe 60% interest. All right, but we can change this. We can take closer off. So it's just starter, shortstop, right field. We can get rid of power pitcher because the game doesn't consider Marquez a power pitcher. And there's no, or there is defense. I wonder what would be, I'm gonna add angle and see. I don't know what would be better for interest, fielding or right-handed hitter. So it's 4 and 3. Right-handed hitter makes it 5 and 4. Defense makes it 4 and 4. So they don't consider IKF to be a defense guy, I guess. All right, we'll do this for this week. Oh, so people are getting signed. It just wasn't popping up. You'd think a $30 million a year signing for Carlos Rodon would have popped up. All right, I'm just gonna go to the next week with this. We'll fill out all 3 spots, see what Angle's interest is, bump up the other guys by a little bit. Hopefully we don't have another last chance. I'm tired of those. I want to actually have a chance to I guess woo these guys. Urias goes to Colorado, Jordan Hicks to the Reds, Phil Maton to the Phillies. So good. No more in-division signings so far, no more big ones at least, and no more throughout the week. No more signings. Well, they don't show some of these. Matt Chapman signed for 7 years and almost 30 million at 30 years old. He did have a really good improvement year. He's up to a 95. Back-to-back 30 homer years, and the average picked up last year. That's a good player. Good thing he didn't go in division. Colorado is loading up on the pitching. I mean, they're probably not even going to try and bring Marquez back if they got Urias, and then they got a couple relievers. I guess signing this guy isn't really considered beefing up any pitching, but Alvarado maybe. Renfroe went to the Pirates, so we can't even have the thought of getting him anymore. All right, and then we got Marquez up to 59, Kiner Falefa is up to 52, and Angle is already pretty interested in coming back. And yeah, I don't know what percent it unlocks, but we could have Angle be guaranteed to come back. I don't want to do that. I mean, 7 years. 4 million is kind of unnecessary, but at least we have that option. We have that option now for Marquez too. He would also be 7 years, which I would not be opposed to. And also, hang on a second, because didn't I use the guaranteed for Severino and it bumped it up to 7 years, but he's not signed for 7 years? Unless I just forgot and I used it on someone else. I thought I used it on Severino. I didn't use it on Turner either because he's not 7 years. Definitely didn't use it on Sano. Didn't use it on TA. We know I didn't use it on Taylor Rogers. All right, well, I think I'm gonna take the team need off of what would help Angle and Falefa and see. Okay, so he's not a finesse pitcher. Is he a ground ball pitcher? No. What kind of pitcher is Marquez? Well, all right, I was gonna take off the right-handed batter because because these two, I don't feel need as much interest as Marquez. But if nothing here improves Marquez's percentage, then I guess we'll just keep it at right-handed batter to get those other guys a couple more. And I think we're good. I think we're good to just kind of keep going here. I mean, the only thing would be Marquez is rumored to be talking with some other teams, so he might have a last chance thing pop up, which kind of would suck. Who is left, just in case, pitching wise, if we need to adjust and look for someone else? There's still Montes, there's still Malley, Snell, Hendricks, Kershaw. That was the first thought. Kershaw is still there, so if something happens and we don't get Marquez, we still have options. So let's go to the next week and see what's gonna go down here. I have a feeling it's gonna have a thing pop up. Oh, there's the Matt Chapman, Hunter Renfroe, all those signings popping up. And what do we got? Matt Barnes to the Jays. Okay, and we made it to another week without any more last chances. Marquez up to 65%. I think we're good to just keep moving on, keep advancing. There's no reason to offer to anybody yet. As long as they're here, we know a last chance thing will pop up, and there's really no one else we need to go out and target anyway. All right, let's move on another week. See what happens here. Bellinger goes to the Cardinals. I'm liking this, keeping all the big signings out of division. Garver to the Cubs. That Central, the NL Central, I feel like they're making a lot of moves. I know the Cubs got Hader, so at least that's a couple. And we made it through another week without any big signings, no last chances. Marquez is still talking with other people, but we're good. His interest is getting better and better. Okay, a couple more that didn't show up, but I'm assuming will. Snell goes to LA, Rhys Hoskins to San Francisco, and Jose Ramirez signs an 8-year, $32 million deal with the Yankees, because of course. But hey, the Yankees, they were not as good the last season because they lost Judge. A lot of their guys got worse. So them signing Ramirez doesn't make them the powerhouse that it seems like they would be. They're just trying to claw back at this point. All right, we're just going to keep on trucking, I guess. I mean, right? There's no reason to change anything. I kind of feel like something's off almost, but we already made our big splash signings. So yeah, there's those three we just talked about, and we move through another Montes, Frankie Montes to New York. One way or another, he'll get there. Brad Keller to the Pirates. Montgomery to the Red Sox. Still nobody coming to our division. I'm liking it. Free agent opportunity. Mitch Haniger is interested in coming here. He would be instead of Engel. He's got a lot of interest. He has the opposite skill set as Adam Engel. He's not the best fielder. He's not that fast, but he can hit the ball. He had a down year last year, which might be why he's not looking for that much. He also regressed. He's 33, so he's older than Engel. I am not interested. I'm going to stick with Adam Engel. Engel's up to 80%. We could just about lock him up. And I mean, maxing that out, that's only like 300K more. So that's something we could even just kind of do soon. But there's no reason to initiate it unless we can get up to 100%, because we have used up a lot of luck so far. I mean, getting Shohei with 27% and Liam Hendricks with 66. I have a feeling if we left it up to chance and tried it with only 93, that we would just not end up with him. So we'll keep moving along. Marquez is the priority right now. We can get him up to 89% just with the salary. 92 with the years, so the guaranteed is still 7 years, but the salary number's coming down a little bit. If we have to do this, we'll do this. Like, if we have a last chance pop up, I'm not even gonna leave it to chance, I'll just do it. But until then, there's no reason to change anything. We'll just keep going. No more signings until the last day of the week. Mondesi leaves the division, going to the NL Central. That NL Central, man, I feel like they've made some signings. They're trying to get better. Our Central is not. Padres make a couple moves, solid starter, power bat, and another pitcher, a closer. And then the Giants make another move. Man, it seems like every division collectively is getting better, except for ours, which is a good thing. I mean, that's a great thing. We got another one of these opportunities popping up. Joe Ross, I have no interest in you, but thanks for your interest in me. So we can look team by team. Our division, I mean, we've signed our guys. Guardians have signed nobody. Tigers have just signed a couple relievers to just return. Royals have signed nobody. Twins have signed nobody, and that's it. It's like they're not even trying. They're just giving us the next decade. I guess the West, the AL West hasn't done much either. Astros, a couple low guys, couple 60s. Angels, one dude, and nobody from the other three. The Marlins are making some moves. Phillies have made a couple moves. Cubs are trying to get more solid. The Reds have made a couple solid moves. Couple good relievers. Lamet's an 82. So is Hicks. And then Mondesi, they're trying to get better. The Brewers got Teoscar. The Pirates took Renfroe from the Brewers. Brad Keller's an 80. Yeah, that division. And then Bellinger to the Cardinals. They're trying, man. They are trying. Yeah, and then you got the NL West, too. You got the Rockies trying to improve the pitching a bit with these two guys. You got the Dodgers signing Snell. Padres have made some deals, to more solid deals than big splashes. The Giants, kind of same thing. They got Lopez. Okay, hey, that's a good player for you. Man, it's kind of sad to see Lopez go. Even though at this point I had no intention of bringing him back, he was pretty solid for us. We can get Marquez up to 95 now with just the salary. Guaranteed down to 12.3. We could get Kiner Falefa up to an 84. Angle up to a 97. After this week, I might switch around Marquez and Kiner Falefa just because I feel like Marquez is pretty much going to be at 100. I mean, he actually should be after 6% more. So at least we know we could lock him up. So let's keep it going. Let's advance another week. And Seth Lugo to the Braves. Kyle Freeland, another NL Central signing. And we're back to another week. Nobody trying to take our guys. Marquez can get up to 100%. We don't even have to max it out. The guaranteed, still 7 years. I don't think that changes, but I mean, 100% should be a guarantee, right? I would assume. We'll still hold off on him though, because we can get him for cheaper and cheaper the longer we hold out. Kiner Falefa, still an 89 for the max, so I think I will switch them around. And then Angle, he also gets up to 100. So yeah, we will flip-flop Marquez and Kiner Falefa, and then I probably, well actually, I don't know. I already tried contact and defense, and that didn't improve Kiner Falefa before, so I don't know if any of these really do. So we might as well stay at right-handed pitcher. All right, one more week, I guess. We're on to the new year. 2024 is upon us. And we're through another week with nobody trying to take our guys. And Nick Ahmed, as long as I can get IKF, I don't need you. Marquez up to 94. Angle up to 92. Kiner Falefa to 83. I could get Marquez now guaranteed for 5 years. 11.65. I could even bump his years all the way down and salary all the way up. But I don't even know if that's really necessary, because we'll have him for 29, 30, 31. That would be 3 years. He's probably not going to regress by that point, so 32 and 33 wouldn't be terrible to have him for. And I hate to say it, but we also got to start thinking about, like, how long are we even going to have this March to October going for? Because I was saying at the beginning of the year, you know, I want 100 episodes, I want 5 years. We're 2 years in. So yeah, are we going to get to the point where giving him more than 3 years is going to matter? So I could even do that. I could knock off the years. But actually, that we'd want to go the other way. If anything, we'd want to give him more years and less money. That would help us in the short term. We'll worry about that later. We don't have to make any changes. Marquez is going to get up to 99 by this one. Angle is going to get up to 96. Kiner Falefa, we can't quite get him to 100% yet. Come on. It should be 3 more weeks, right? 10, 11, 12, and then sign the guys. I might just sign the guys after 2 more, just to not push it. Couple moves that didn't pop up, unless they're all just gonna pop up now all of a sudden. But Devers, another Reds signing, 9 years, 26 mil. He was the MVP, I think, in year 1. 53 homers, 353 average. Grandal went on a 1-year deal. Back to the Padres. Back to the first team he was ever on. That's kind of poetic. Good for him. And he got $32 million out of it. Kyle Hendricks to the Brewers, another in-division move in the NL Central. And that's really all the big ones. They might all pop up here. I'm not even sure. Okay, no, only the Luke Weaver one popped up. Andrew Chafin, he was available? I mean, I didn't really have a spot in the bullpen, but dude is a March to October legend. I would have at least thought about it. I didn't even see him. He's only on a 1-year deal, though, so we can look back at him next year, hopefully. Joe Ross goes to the Yankees. Another Cardinals signing. Still nobody for the AL Central. All right, we're on to the next week. Ahmed Rosario. Oh, hang on. Wait a second. Wait a second. Is he better than IKF? At this point, maybe not. even though he does have a lot of interest, we can't, I mean, we could probably still get him. Oh man, nah, he's like double the money per year. He's probably better than Kiner Falefa, but I kind of like that catcher secondary on Kiner Falefa. Yeah, I won't do it, even though that's kind of tempting with the speed, the versatility, but we'll pass on it. Or I could sign Engel or Marquez or both right now and then have Rosario in just to see if we can get him some more interest up here. And if we can, then we can, you know, make a decision who we want to sign. Let's see, Marquez, I mean, we can get him up to 100 by just bumping it up a little bit to 11.21. I might just do that. I might just get it out of the way. I don't even know if he gets to 100. I don't even know if it would stay at 100 going down. It might just be at 100 for the midpoint. Same with Engel. In terms of money, it'd be the same amount of money to bump him up to 100%. Actually, would it be less than to get Marquez up, or is it's the same? I might just do that. I might just go ahead and knock these guys out. Bump up Engel to the 5 years. I mean, we don't need him for 5 years, but at only a 75 overall, he'll steadily decline. He'll probably get replaced on the bench after this year, but I don't know, maybe we can trade him or something. We'll go ahead and do this 100%. 5 year, $3.81 million year for Engel, just to lock up that bench spot. Why not? We have the money, and there he is. Adam Engel's a White Sox once again. And let's go ahead and lock up Marquez. Let's do it. Bump him up 1. 5 years is good for him. The money is really good for him. 86 overall pitcher for 11.21. That's not bad. That's pretty similar, actually, real quick, to the Severino deal, isn't it? Because he improved, so he was probably 85, 86 when we signed him, and he's only making 11.9. And he won the Cy Young, even though he didn't have, in my opinion, a Cy Young caliber year. Still won it, so maybe Marquez could be that kind of signing again. Let's do it. Bump it up 1. 5 years, 11.21. Submit offer. This signing will include a competitive balance tax. So wait, he was offered the, or no, that'd just be because I'm going over a certain amount of money. That's fine. I don't know what kind of tax that'll be. Oh, and he gets this animation. I mean, there's no chance it's not me, right? We know it's gonna pop up here. Yeah, there he is. There's another new guy. We added 2 starting pitchers to the rotation, both of them over an 85 overall, and Shohei's a little bit higher than that. And I don't see where any tax came off. We still have $27.46 million. And Kiner Falefa, I mean, we can get him. We can get him to 100%. So I'm gonna go ahead and wow. Oh, okay. So we can't even add Giolito now, but nobody signed him. Could you imagine if he just ends up a free agent? That'd be crazy. He's asking too much. All right, but I'm curious about the Ahmed Rosario situation, so I'm gonna add him. I thought we knew what his interest was. Does that not stay? And then I'm gonna flip flop him just because we already know we can get Kiner Falefa up to 100%. So we'll get +9 for Rosario, +6 for Kiner Falefa. Advance the week. I don't see signing Rosario. That'd just be pointless because we have Montgomery coming up through the system. We don't need Rosario for 5 years. But I don't know. DeGrom goes to the Jays on a 1-year deal. Brian Anderson to the D-backs. Pomeranz, Yankees. Haniger to the Red Sox. Steckenrider. My brain stopped working when I said his name. We finally get an in-division signing popping up though. Victor Caratini, what a splash. And Gene Segura, he's interested in signing with us, but I'm not. We have plenty of middle infield guys we're looking at now. Rosario up to 80%. I mean, if I spent some money, I could lock him up. Yeah, there's no point. I mean, he is definitely a better player. I don't even know if I can say he has more versatility, because yeah, he can play the outfield, but the fact that Kiner Falefa has catcher, I feel like that makes him more versatile. Rosario is probably a better hitter, definitely is a better hitter all around, but as a backup, you don't really need to be an outstanding hitter, especially when you know injuries don't happen in March to October. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sign Kiner Falefa. There's no reason not to offer him this money. 5 years, about $5 million. Or you know what? I'll offer him a few more 100K just to sign him for 3 years, because we don't need him wasting away and trying to trade him like we might be doing with Engel. So we'll give Kiner Falefa a 3-year, $5.18 million deal, and it'll apparently include a competitive balance tax, even though I didn't really see that before. And there we go. We got everybody that we were targeting. We could even, we could start Kiner Falefa at catcher. He would be a higher overall technically. I mean, Collins is a better hitter. He's proven that he's a really good hitter, even in limited games, but still over 2 seasons as a backup. We'll figure all that out when the season starts, though. Look at this rotation. Everyone over an 85. Hopefully Kopech finally has his bounce back year. The FIP is telling us it's gonna happen. He's got to regress to the mean at some point. And actually, if he doesn't, no, never mind. Now it's saying, didn't it say before he'd be a free agent in 2025? Now it's saying 2025 is an arbitration year. Same with Cease, so I guess we have them both for another extra year than I thought. And we have Eloy, because it doesn't have that contract symbol next to him. So maybe next offseason isn't the big offseason I was thinking it would be. It would actually be the year after, because the year after would be Eloy, both the pitchers, maybe Robert. I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll get there when we get there. That's now what, 2 off seasons away, so we shouldn't even really be thinking about that yet. We're gonna go ahead and sim this last week. We might as well sim with Rosario on the board. Not like I'm gonna make a move at him, but I don't know, no reason not to. And Aguilar to the Rockies, Vasquez to the Jays. Nobody in our division wants to compete with us. Paul DeYoung, buddy, no thanks. Rosario is up to a 90%. We could get him if we wanted to. There's no reason to. I'm actually just, we can't even remove him from the targeted list. Okay. All right, so we'll advance this final day, and Scope goes to the Brewers, back to the Brewers. JD to the Cardinals, Sonny Gray to Texas, Kiermaier to the Dodgers, Candelario to the Mariners. Nobody in our division wants to compete. Another signing for the Mariners. Giolito finally gets scooped up. He got a 6-year, $184 million deal with the Angels. So we just swapped. We got Ohtani, they got Giolito. They overpaid. They might be paying more for Giolito per year than I'm paying for Ohtani. Or it's close, at least. Kershaw goes to the Astros. AL West making some moves. Segura to the Red Sox. Polanco to the Cubs. Happ to the Twins. There we go. There's a move in division, but they lost Polanco, so that's just kind of a replacement. Urshela to the Rays. This must really be the last day, because a lot of these guys are now getting scooped up. Rizzo to the Marlins. Neris to the Mariners, and Kepler to the Yankees. Wow. As a whole, our division probably just got worse. Oh, and a couple more here. Bader. Lance Lynn found a spot to land for a good amount of money. Good for him. Rosario, it didn't even pop up, giving me a last chance. I mean, maybe because that was the last chance with that being the final day, but he goes to the A's. We got Crone, or we didn't get Crone, but you know what I mean. Escobar. Rosenthal, is that it now, or are we still gonna have a couple more coming through? That looks like it might be it. We had another 5-star offseason. Where did Tucker Barnhart and Brad Hand come from? They better not end up on this team. I didn't sign them. We better not see a Tucker Barnhart and Isaiah Kiner Falefa catcher duo over Zach Collins and Yermin. I'm kind of worried, but either way, still a good offseason. Ohtani, Marquez. Who would have thought Ohtani? Oh, dude, and they really are. They're gonna ruin my plan. They signed Brad Hand. He's a 78. Why would they do that automatically? I mean, he's not bad. That's not a terrible signing, but I'm like trying to go all in here with Luzardo and get him some more development again. Have him pitch another full year in the majors. Have him be a long reliever. All right, we'll worry about that later. Let's go ahead and advance. The momentum is back up on the screen. Angels, wow, what an interesting opening day. It's gonna probably be an opening day matchup of Lucas Giolito versus Shohei Ohtani, but on different teams. That is going to be fun, and that's going to be the first game, and that's going to be the next episode. So guys, what do we think? What are we thinking here? Leave your thoughts in the comments for the offseason. Did I sell out getting Ohtani? Should I have gone back with Giolito? Should I have stuck with the core? Or did I make the right move? But that's going to do it for this incredibly long offseason. Way longer than I thought. Probably longer than last season. But anyways, guys, leave a like on this if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Subscribe so you don't miss Season 3 of the White Sox March to October. It looks like it's going to be a fun one. But thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you on opening day.